Welcome everybody to this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room. We've already talked about the terrible Atari 7800 Proline controller, which I also call the carpal tunnel controller. But you don't have to use that controller. There's an accessory where you can use a Sega Genesis controller. Seagull 78 by Atari. This review is going to get unsightly because of all the wires. Let's get into it. This is going to be a pretty short review, and I'm going to take a very raw, unscripted approach at this so you guys can hear how good my promo skills are not. But we're not here to talk about how bad I am on the mic. We're here to talk about the Seagull 78 by Atari, a must-have if you have the Atari 7800. Unfortunately, when the Atari 7800 came out, you were stuck with this, especially here in North America. Europe had a gamepad that was easier to use, and you didn't have to risk getting carpal tunnel syndrome with this terrible joystick. Not even the 7800 wants to be associated with that. So, and I'm aware that they re-released that particular gamepad I was referring to. I don't have one on me. I had one that I bought from a local record store, but it didn't work on my unit for whatever reason. But this is a great product to have. I'm holding it upside down. The one I have comes in a translucent blue shell. There's others that are black. Some of them come with one port here and one port down here, but they all do the same thing. And yes, you could play some of the games with just the Sega Genesis controller alone without the adapter, but you can't play Scrapyard Dog, Tower Toppler, Double Dragon, and a whole bunch of other games. So this is a must. Maybe the Atari 7800 would have been a more competitive force in the video game industry if it had a better controller and more games. Another thing that was hurting it was a lack of sound capabilities. But there are still some good games to be had on the 7800, and you will have a decent time playing some of the games that I mentioned, well, except for Double Dragon. And not only can you use the Sega Genesis standard 3-button controller, you can also use the 6-button controller. Albeit you can only use B and C, you can still use this if you're more comfortable using this. Another great thing is that this big old monster works with the Seagull 78 adapter. Again, you can only use B and C and the directional joystick. And yes, the turbos work on it. However, I tried out the Sega Master System controller. It does not work. So, the Atari Seagull 78, I purchased one, and they shipped it out to me. About 2 weeks later, they shipped me another one. And they didn't even charge me for it, so I don't know what happened there, but I'm grateful to have both. So I'm going to do Atari a great favor in putting this thing over, and I'll leave a link down below where you guys can get yourselves one of these. Whether it works on the new re-release Atari 7800, I do not know. And I'm aware that they re-released the that particular gamepad that was available only in Europe when this thing was launched. So whether that will work on this old Atari 7800, I really don't know. But this is a great product because these Sega Genesis controllers are a lot more comfortable than that terrible carpal tunnel joystick. So yeah, if you have an Atari 7800, get yourselves one of these.